Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Uncaped Heroes. We are so glad that you decided to spend this time with us. And what we always hope is that you learn something, or it opens up an opportunity for you at least to think into something new and from a new perspective. We have the most fabulous time doing this podcast and meeting the people that we get to meet. And so I'd love to carry on this part of the conversation, but I'm going to bring in my co-host. I am Stacy Johnston, and I'm here with my co-host today, Cassey, Holland. How are you?
I am blessed. I'm doing fabulous. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. How are you?
I am really well. So how about we start this off with you, Cassey? How about you talk to our audience? Tell us what this journey on this podcast has been about for you.
I really am just enjoying discovering the hidden unique in the world. And by hidden, I mean the people that we have talked to are not people that do everyday things. They do very different things, and some of them do everyday things, but they do them in a very different way. So I am just having a great time seeing the difference in everyone's journey. It's pretty cool. How about you?
I feel the same way. One of the things I've enjoyed the most is hearing and getting to be witness to the stories and the definitions of hero for people and what that's been about, and the amazing stories we've gotten to hear about people we might have never, ever heard about or known about before if it wasn't for that. So I feel so blessed to have that knowledge. So we have a great guest with us today, and I'm going to let you do the honors and bring in our guest, if you would.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we have Jay Stone with us. He is coming to us from Mississippi. How are you today?
I'm all right. How about you?
Doing great. So, Jay, take a second and tell our audience a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how we can connect with you.
Well, I'm going to try to keep it short and simple, sweet. Stone100 from Mississippi. And I do music. I've been doing music since I was about, give or take, 12, 13, as far as back I can remember. I actually started out when I was about, let's say 12. A friend of mine, he gave me a keyboard because I kept bugging him about, hey, I want to make a beat. And, hey, he gave me a keyboard, and it was like 30 minutes later, it was history. And here I am now, 26, about to be 27 shortly. And, hey, here I am. And, I use music as my life, by me being a blind artist and or a blind person. Music is my eyes because sound guides me.
That's beautiful. And what kind of music do you make?
I make rap music, R&B music, just anything that I want to make at a particular time. Like if my ears want to hear some jazz, I'm going to try to make it. If my ears want to hear some classical, you might hear some clashing, but I'll try to make it. So just pretty much anything, but mainly rap right now.
Very cool.
Jay,
so
it's all right. I just got to step in and ask you a question. Jay, in the path that your music on, and I heard you say a moment ago that you're blind. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Talk to the audience just a little bit about the difference in the way you hear music than most people probably do.
Okay. Well, you hear music and you hear the sounds and you like the sound and you love how that noise makes sense. For me, I hear the colors, I hear the people, I hear the definition, I hear the clarity, I hear the things that are taken for granted, seeing that my ears are my eyes.
Mm.
And so you may hear just one big conglomeration of wonderful ruckus. For me, I hear, oh, that's not a good color right there. Oh, okay, but those people are walking down the street and, okay. So it's a big picture. It's a big picture for me. Music is to me, it's like having a painting where you get to choose the colors, the depths, and or the pictures or the graphics or whatever you decide to do. You get to choose these things when it comes to the instruments and or the arrangements or the music itself. And you get to put it all together and either make it make sense or make a bunch of noise.
What a beautiful view of music. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I grew up as a dancer, and I loved to tap. And I met a group of kids when I was young. I was probably 7 or 8 the first time I met them. And we ended up traveling, together for many years until after I graduated from high school. We all grew up. Well, we all ended up in the same place over Thanksgiving. And they were a group of tap dancers as well, but they were all deaf.
Oh, wow.
And it was so fascinating to watch them dance and to watch them learn, because when we would be in class learning a new routine, we'd be on the floor with our feet, and they would be around the speakers with their hands on it, trying to feel the rhythm. And once they could feel that rhythm, then they tapped. It's beautiful. Won a competition, amazing tap dancers, but just a fascinating way for your senses to help each other out. Right?
I mean, if you really think about it, I know you probably heard a choir teacher or a director say, oh, we can't talk together, but we can sing together. Okay, yeah, that's true. We can make music together. And, to me, tap dancing, mixing and mastering vocals, arranging, composing, etc., all of that, it spells unity for me. Because you're bringing sounds together. And depending on the sounds that you're creating with this music, I mean, hey, you can either love it or not, but someone or a crowd is going to enjoy it some way, somehow. And if they don't, you will eventually.
Rhythm is universal. Right? You got a rhythm, and it doesn't even matter sometimes what the words are that go along, but it's the sound that so many people can resonate with. And it's as a dancer, I have a good appreciation for that. So, Jay, let's look at this path you've gone on. You grew up as this little boy, and you found that keyboard, and you made that first song, and you blossomed into this man that you are today with a mission and a vision and a career in music that you have. Who do you identify in that for you along the way as a hero, and why would you give him that title?
Well, I would say, first and foremost, my mother. And my mother, because she motivates me still to this day to take a leap at what you love. Jump at what you want. Walk toward what you need. And don't give up on yourself. Had I not taken that opportunity to, grab the keyboard and bug my friend about, hey, man, let me see the keyboard, let me get the keyboard, da-da-da-da, I would not have been able to sit down for so long to come up with so many different ideas and so many different things with music. So my hero is my mom because, overall, she believed in me, and still to this day, even when it comes to some music that I rap, she don't like it. But that's fine. I don't mind. I love it. And just to know that regardless if she likes my music or not, she still holds my hand to say, hey, son, I'm here to support you. Just as long as you're doing it the legal way and you're not doing something to cause any harm to yourself or others while you're doing the best that you can and being the best man that you can be. So, yeah, that's it.
Don't cause harm. What a beautiful story. I hope your mom knows that she's your hero.
I'm going to be honest. I don't say it enough. I don't tell her enough. I really don't. I don't. I need to start.
Today's a great day.
It is.
Yeah. Everybody deserves to know. I think that's one of the coolest things, like you said earlier, the definition of people's heroes that we've discovered, because, you know, generally people say, who's your favorite superhero or who's your favorite hero? And your mind automatically goes to Batman or Superman or, you know, somebody like that. And what we have discovered is that it's really more close to home for people. It's moms and dads and grandmothers and grandfathers and business partners. And, you know, I mean, a few people have heroes that are outside of that realm, but for the most part, it's the people that are closest to you. And I have to commend you on that. My parents are my heroes as well. So, generationally speaking, there is a huge gap between, you know, the generation that is about to retire and the generation that's just graduating, or the generation that's just going into high school. From your experience and throughout your journey, how do you feel like we can close that gap?
Okay, you old people, get up, lead by example. Yeah. No matter how rough and how hard it is, because we, as a younger generation, I would say between 18 to 30, we still need you. We still need you, and just because your helping hand may not work for one crowd or one person, try somebody else. You know, if it don't work for Jake, try Jack. If it don't work for Jack, try Jill. If it don't work for her, hey, try all three. You know? I mean, yeah. The older generation has had things. I mean, okay, put it this way. There's nothing new under the sun. So there's nothing that the younger generation is doing that the older generation hasn't done. So I feel like the older generation needs to be a little bit more open and honest with one another and be mindful with one another and just lead by example. Because let's be honest here, a lot of older people say things like, I wasn't nothing like that when I was your age. Oh, you know, like I wasn't this, and you younger kids are very disrespectful. And I'm like, okay, there is a switch outside on the tree. There is a thing called the belt. There is a thing called using your voice to make that force be understood. I mean, hey, you know, certain methods I agree with, certain methods I don't. But overall, let's be fair. We all have to work together. Older and younger, we have to work together. Division is ignorance. Division is pure ignorance. And let's be honest here. If we're divided in our homes, let me be raw with you. How the hell are we going to expect each other to be unified outside of our homes if we already divided in our home?
And I get an amen.
You know what I'm saying? So if you really want to be honest, start at home with self first. Because if you have a sister and brother or cousin or grandmother or uncle or aunt, and you know that they're bickering inside the family, why you expecting them to go outside and hold two strangers together when they don't even hold each other together? Make it make sense. So, unity. I feel like we all just need to come together and understand that, hey, numbers are strong, but we got to start with those numbers at home first. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
I do. I wholeheartedly agree with that. What do you think?
What do I think? I think that coming from that generation of what might be considered old people.
No.
I understand that I'm not offended. Understand that I'm not offended, not even kind of. Okay, I'm not even offended, not even kind of, dude. Right? I understand. You're from the same generation of my daughter, right? And so I get you where you're coming, because I remember standing in your shoes thinking, I don't know, people don't know. I understand. Been there, done that. I didn't get to be where I am by skipping where you are, right? So I understand that, and I agree. I think it's the wisdom and the ethic and the morals and the stand-up that's not being passed on like it used to be. And I feel like I agree with you in that gap part, right? Where's that stand-up? If you look at the people that are representing who we're supposed to be right now, it's confused. It's confused, right? That definition of ethics and of morals and of integrity and of character is definitely in question right now.
My mom sat me down one day, Stacy and Cassey, and she pretty much told me in the most motherly, loving way possible, shut up, chin up, stand up, and own up.
Amen.
And that's where it starts.
Personal responsibility. You're exactly right.
I think we need that on this podcast as well.
Yeah.
Your mom's
absolutely.
got solid advice.
She does, and you know what? I think that's part of the gap
you.
right there, is a passing on of that solid advice and the understanding of that, right? And so I absolutely appreciate your take on the gap, Jay. I do, and thank you for sharing that with us. Now we're going to turn the tables on you just a little bit.
No problem.
Okay, and we're going to have you recognize that you are probably, more than you know, in fact, someone's hero every day. By the inspiration that you put out there, by the hope that you show, by just your story, you're walking proof that yes, you can. Right? And so I feel like you're probably a hero to more people than you recognize. So please take that for a moment, right, and let yourself allow to be that. Take that stage for a second. So as you're standing there, Stone100, and this is your moment, and the world is your stage, what's your one-liner? Of all the words there are out there, what's your one-line statement to the world? What does your T-shirt say?
Believe in yourself when nobody else will. Stand up for yourself when nobody else will. Trust yourself when nobody else will. Do what you know you can do. Work on what you know you can't do.
Beautiful.
That's solid advice.
Well, go into that a little bit for me. So, believe in yourself or no one else will. How important is
that? It's very important, extremely important, because, okay, I'll put it like this. I can walk with a friend down the street, but just because we're going to the same building don't mean that we're going to always open the same door. If you believe that on the other side of that door there's something for you, go for it. Step up for yourself, and sometimes you're not going to be able to be a leader. Sometimes you're not going to be able to be a follower. You just have to find what wave that you want to ride and know that you're okay with your own surfboard, because everybody's not meant to ride the same ride. Everybody's not meant to step in the same shoe, and everybody's not meant to walk within the same path or step the same way. That's why everybody is different, and that's why, hey, there's a left and a right. You just have to trust and believe in yourself that, hey, which side are you going to choose and which side are you going to stick with?
Beautiful advice. Beautiful advice. Absolutely sound wisdom. I would like to take this opportunity to tell you thank you for the space that you provide, for the wisdom, for the hope that you share with the world, for being our guest and taking your time with us today and just sharing your journey. I am so grateful for the time that you took to be with us. Well, please remember, we are brought to you by Enlighten Up and Guided by Grace. If there's somebody you think we need to talk to or a story we need to hear, reach out to us at herobuilder2020@gmail.com so we can share your story, your wisdom, and your journey as well. Cassey, is there anything you'd like to say before we turn over the stage to Stone for 60 seconds to close us out?
I hope that our listeners are, A, inspired, and B, throwing all of their excuses out the window, because this gentleman is a blind composer. You have no reason. You have no excuse.
Amen.
You have to believe in yourself.
So, thank you for that, Cassey. That's a beautiful, beautiful acknowledgement. Stone, I can't think of a better way. Please, sir, take the stage for 60 seconds and close us out.
All right, I'm going to say it like this. Look, if you believe, you can achieve, and you will. It's all up to you at the end of the day. It's what you decide that you want to do. Just make sure you're doing it the right way and the legal way. Stay prayed up. If it's hard for you, pray about it. If it's something that's challenging to you, pray about it. Ask for forgiveness. Forgive, forget, let go.